You ready, Dr. Binder? Thank you. Okay, I'm going to call to order this regular meeting of the Pacific Grove Unified School District Board of Education. This is April 9th, 2026. Good evening. We will open with our call to order, and next up, we just did that, so we'll go over to you, Dr. Adamson. Can we have a roll call vote, please? Or roll call, please?
Absolutely. President McNary.
Here.
Clerk Shamaz.
Here.
Trustee Otmar is on her way, will be here any minute. Trustee Wax.
Here.
And Trustee Hazen will not be present with us this evening. He is traveling out of town.
Okay, thank you. With that, we do have 3 trustees here in person, which is a quorum and enough for us to proceed with our business and the adoption of the agenda. Before I go out to public comment, are there any revisions to the agenda we have in front of us? I didn't see anything. There's just the change on the, it's okay.
No changes. No.
Okay. Just double checking. Is there any public comment on the adoption of the board agenda? Okay, seeing none. Any discussion on the agenda from board members? Okay, thank you. With that, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
A second. Okay, motion made by Trustee Wax and seconded by Clerk Shamaz. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Okay, that passes 3-0, and we can move forward with our business. Thank you, everyone. It is located this evening in a different portion of the agenda, I did notice, but thank you for, yeah.
Where is it?
Sure. This evening, it appears at the top of our open session, right before the Pledge of Allegiance, which is a logical place. So maybe we can do a bit of further investigation or research to determine.
I think it was just an error that it was placed in the wrong spot. I didn't realize it. Yes.
Got it.
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
okay.
Very good.
Thank you, Dr. Adamson.
I know there was one agenda where we had it there, and then I think we'd moved it, and very likely we'd used that agenda to, build this one, that template. So, okay.
Understood. Thank you. I will next identify the closed session topics for this meeting's agenda. There are 5. Closed session item A is negotiations, collective bargaining session, planning and preparation with the PGTA for 2025 and 2026 school year. Item B is negotiations, collective bargaining session, planning and preparation with the CSEA for 2025 and 2026 year. Item C is public employee discipline, dismissal, release, leave complaint under Government Code 54957. Item D is conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code 54956.9 subdivision D1. Case number OAH202-602-0974. And item E related to the provision of special education services to a district student. Those are our closed session items. Are there any public comments on closed session topics this evening? Seeing that there are no comments on closed session topics, we will adjourn to closed session and reconvene at 6:30. Thank you. Okay, we are going to rejoin the meeting and open. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight for our regular board meeting. Welcome to the students and their teachers who are here to present for us as well. This is the beginning of the open session portion of our meeting. And the first thing that we do at this point in the meeting is we report out the actions taken by the board in closed session, where we just were for the last hour. We had multiple items on our agenda for closed session this evening, so I will read each one and the actions taken. For item A, negotiations, collective bargaining session, planning and preparation with the PGTA for 2025-26. Information was received. For item B, negotiations, collective bargaining session, planning and preparation with the CSEA for 2025 and 26, information was received. With regard to item C, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, leave complaint under Government Code Section 54957, subdivision B, information was received. Regarding item D, conference with legal counsel, case number OAH case number 202-602-0974. The board voted to approve the settlement agreement by a vote of 4-0, with one abstention. Related to item E, the provision of special education services to a district student. The board voted to approve a settlement agreement by a vote of 4-0 with one absent. Okay, that is the end of the readout from closed session. And next, I'll read our land acknowledgement. Good evening, everyone. As we begin this meeting, it is important to pay respect to and acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the Ohlone, Costanoan, and Esselen people, and additionally pay respects to elders both past and present. And Dr. Adamson, next on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. Will you lead us this evening? Thank you. Thank you. And probably the most important and student-centered part of our agenda is what's up next. And this evening, we have a presentation from Pacific Grove Middle School AVID program. And I will introduce Principal Sean Roach to take it away. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Sean Roach, proud principal of Pacific Grove Middle School, and I am here with a group of wonderful students this evening. And I do have to give some credit to these students and their families for joining us the night before our last little day before spring break. I mean, there's a lot going on in school, and the fact that these students took time out of their busy schedule and their families as well, they need to be lauded for doing that. And so I'm very happy to see you guys here. We are going to talk a little bit this evening about our AVID program and some of the experiences that our AVID students have gone through. AVID obviously is an amazing college and career readiness program, which sets the bar high, but also provides high support as well for our students. But you don't want to hear me talk about it. You'd rather hear the students talk about it. So students, can I get you guys to line up right here, please? And you can see their public speaking readiness as they line up. Michael. Test. Okay. Ready? Go.
Sure, the microphone is projecting. It seems a bit, yeah. Or maybe can we?
Guys did catch
In the room, but I just want to make sure it's projecting for those who are online as well.
Hello.
We have confirmation it can be heard online. That's what I like to hear. Okay, thank you, Director Binder. That's what all right, go ahead.
My name is Makai, and I'd like to talk about how these AVID trips have helped me kind of have awareness and understanding of college. Before AVID field trips, I kind of thought of college as kind of living on a high school campus. But as I've gone through a few AVID field trips, I really feel like it's helped me clarify what classes are actually like, how students spend their free time, and like kind of like what the campuses really look like. And I definitely feel like I would not know like how much freedom you would have being a college student if I didn't go to these trips.
Hi, my name is Allison. Before AVID field trips, I thought college was a boring and stressful place. My favorite moments in the Avid field trips have really taught me about how college life really is. Going to Stanford and seeing all of the different people, all the communities, all the people just hang around, and it's not like school exactly. It's more like a community still while learning. Um, just going to these have really set an impact on how I see college and how I envision myself in my future, how I want to be there. And yeah.
Hi, my name is Sienna, and I think that Avid field trips provide a valuable experience that you can probably not experience the same way from in a classroom or online. And an amazing moment that an amazing moment that experienced while on during these field trips was when a real life college student attending the school gave us a tour and told us about all of the resources and the stuff that you can do while in college. And while visiting the colleges, they gave me the opportunity to see if they have any majors I would like to do. Also, talking to real students or in faculty workers really helped me get a more clear understanding. And I think that if Avid did not offer these field trips, students would miss the excitement of seeing a university in real life school hours while being guided by a real student attending the university.
Hi, I'm Vanessa, and I kind of just wanted to talk about maybe some academic motivation. So, for me personally, I feel like one of my most precious memories from doing one of the college field trips is when we went on our trip to Stanford, and we got a really nice tour guide, very educated, and we kind of got to talk to him and learn a little bit more about his experience in college and why he chose the school he did. And I thought it was really cool that us as students, like as young as we are, can relate to um, a college student, which I found was very valuable to me. And I feel like this kind of like gives me perspective of like how tangible this is to me, and like that um, with all of the things that are offered, like I could be a student there, or I could work hard enough to like maybe achieve my goals of this. So I thought that was really cool.
Hi, I'm Harper, and I'm going to talk a little bit about connection and belonging. So before these Avid field trips, I've always been a good student, and but I've really like excelled in from Avid and all the field trips. I've become more aware and diligent with my steps for high school and beyond. I found that Avid helps me get a better understanding of the actions I need to take in order to be successful and build good habits for my future. I feel like going on a college tour with your family is great, but going on a college tour with people you learn and walk through life with, like your classmates and your teachers that you see every day, is essential for gaining a strong connection to like a feeling that you might be one day part of a college community or space.
Hi, I'm Ava, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the value of these experiences. So, at first, when I thought of going to college, I thought I should just go to college so I could get a job. But now, after experiencing the different college campuses and learning about the majors and athletics and stuff, I've learned what I want to do and that I need to find a college that suits me. And I think these experiences are very valuable as they teach people that there's always a place for you at any college and that it's like it helps students really visualize themselves at different places because seeing pictures of campuses or hearing about the requirements aren't the same as actually talking to students and seeing what college life is like. Because I think seeing the college life and the community is also important, like how we got to see the athletics at San Francisco State, or like we got to see like Greek life and also like clubs and different teams, which I thought was really important and it helps visualize.
I'm Sophia, and I think that Avid field trips are a really important part of the Avid program because they help students like visualize what college life is actually like and envision themselves like how they could be in a real in a real college environment. Plus, I think that going to the colleges and seeing other students there that are already attending and seeing the layout and stuff is just different than you could see on like online or just searching it up. So that has been really important for me, I feel like. But overall, I feel like Avid has made me into a completely different student.
Can we please give it up for these students? Guys, the Avid program is so much bigger than this, but it is, I think one of the vital parts of this is walking these campuses and talking to peers generally within their age and really seeing what is a foggy thing for them come into clear view so that when they join the high school, you got a really good crew coming, by the way, Maddie. When they join the high school, like it's not an unknown, it's a goal. It's something tangible. I love what Vanessa said, that this is something they can touch and see and feel. So it's a vital part of the overall learning. Likely, probably one of the more enjoyable parts of the Avid class, but I cannot speak more highly about this program. We have Mr. Mountain here, one of our amazing Avid teachers, Miss Flores, who is at home somewhere doing the same. I love the program. It is my intent at some point in the near future to add an Avid 6 so that we can truly make this a school-wide effort. Thank you so much for listening. Are there any questions that we can answer? Yes.
You forgot to mention fun.
There is fun.
Fun.
Yes.
Okay. You guys, it's going to be fun to go to college because you get to be free, and it's just a wonderful experience. And like that is, needs to be an important part of your thinking of it. It's not just the academics, but it's really fun.
Exactly. And it's three-dimensional. And I was somebody who visited colleges campuses with my family, which was great. But there's something to doing it with your peers. There's something because it resonates. It continues to kind of grow. And you begin to kind of visualize yourself. And that's the kind of college tuning fork that we need in this district. Thank you very much.
Can you guys show the board? How many colleges have you visited with Avid? Like on one or two hands, right?
2 years, 6.
I see 6 colleges.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's impressive. Can we put our hands together again? Another round of applause. Thank you, Principal Roach and Assistant Principal Tavani, for bringing this to us. I feel everything that our students said to us this evening, you could put everything that you spoke about tonight and actually make sort of a brochure for Avid, because I feel like you've explained it better than anything I've ever read about what this program offers. And you did it with passion, and there was a light in your eyes. And absolutely, I think fun came through there, Trustee Shamas, for sure. But some of the things that you talked about was visualizing yourself right on a college campus. I think one of you talked about you could actually, there's finding a college that suits you, right? You can actually see from real life students, right, who are actually living the college life now, making that real and tangible. So thank you to each of you for sharing with us this evening. It's a little daunting, I think, presenting in front of a big group like this, but you each did so beautifully. And I'd love to be able to present each of you with a certificate in thanking you for coming here this evening. It's a certificate that is definitely in recognition of what you're doing and how you're living out each of our 3 core values of belonging, safety, and prosperity through the work that you're doing. So please help me welcome to the front each of our students. When you come up, you'll take your certificate, and I'm going to ask you to just stand in a line in front of the dais, and then we'll have our trustees and our staff come and join you. So Makai Miyabara, come on up, please. Thank you tonight. Alison Castro Flores. Sienna Batista. Vanessa Diaz. Harper Smith. Ava Banishek. and Sophia Ratto. All right, I'm going to ask Principal Roach, Assistant Principal Tavani, our board members, Assistant Soup Dawn, our student board rep to come and join us at the front for some photos.
Daddy, you want to come? Come on, team.
Oh, Harry's got it.
That's the truth. Stay here. Got your agenda. You're not gonna go home. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you, Superintendent Adamson and Principal Roach and Principal Tavani, for sharing about that amazing program with us. Very different to go on field trips with your friends than it is to go on a college tour with your parents. Pretty cool experience, yeah. The next portion of our agenda is the communications section. The first item on our communications is item A, student representative comments. This evening, our student representative is Paige Houston, and I'll give it over to you to give the student report.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Paige Houston, a student board rep from PGHS. First of all, congratulations to PG Middle School for being named by the California Department of Education as the 2026 California Distinguished School. We are proud of you. We had a fantastic VAPA week, which was put on March 30th through April 3rd. Many events took place during our extended breaker time. Students participated in silk screening, choir, band, dance, and indulged in culinary treats. There are also musical performances by staff and students, with Mr. Keller and Dr. Warren performing throughout the week to honor visual and performing arts. On Friday, April 3rd, our partners from Harmony and Home presented an all-school assembly on bully prevention. This assembly emphasized the importance of kindness and supporting one another. The event also included a performance by Mr. Keller and Dr. Warren, who executed a song composed by Dr. Warren titled Banana Slug Blues. Breaker bots are competing this weekend in Daly City for the Northern California Robotics Championship. Good luck, Breaker bots. Currently, 21 students who departed yesterday, Wednesday, April 8th, are in Spain until April 18th as part of our exchange program. For the community high school, the model continuation high school status was officially announced on March 11th, 2026. Students and staff are very proud of CHS for being named a 2026 model continuation high school. Several CHS staff members will travel to the annual California Continuation Education Association Conference in Burbank, California at the end of this month to accept the award. Additionally, please stop by and see the banner in front of the school. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your report, Trustee Houston, and thanks for the shout outs to the other campuses. It's really nice to see support going in all directions. I will move on to board member comments and written comments. I will list off the written comments I've received since, or communications, not comments. Communications received since our last regular meeting. And if other board members have anything to add, you can do so when I've finished. The first thing I have is emails exploring I got an email regarding exploring PGUSD broadcast partnership with AMP. An email regarding the 2026 MCOE Science and Engineering Fair results and PGHS. An invitation to the PGMS Talent Show. Thank you, Mr. Roach. We received a formal bid protest, a letter regarding a student matter, an invitation to the Monterey Peninsula College Town Hall, and an invitation to the Ocean Guardian Art Music Night on April 22nd. Are there any other written communications to add from other board members?
I don't think you mentioned, but I got an invitation to a CTE planning meeting.
I don't know if
An
I,
advisory meeting. You didn't get?
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you, trustee Wax. Any other communications from other trustees? Yes.
I got a email from parent that was dissatisfied with slow response to a 504 request and a lack of confidentiality regarding communications with the district and a request to address those situations.
Okay. Trustee Otmar? No. That sounds like follow-up needed. Dr. Adamson, would you be able to connect to just connect about the student matter? Thank you. If there are no other written communications, we have board member comments. Just thank you to Mr. Roach and Dr. Adamson for hosting Fentanyl High at the PGMS Performing Arts Center this week. I wish everyone could see it. I know we all have such busy lives, but it was just such an impactful experience to sit and listen to the stories of high school seniors in Los Gatos, which is a very similarly situated community to ours, very relevant to how each of them ended up having coping skills that were drug use. And they all had different stories. One kid was like the athlete trying to, get the best grades. Another student was already designated as the party chick. So she said, might as well just be the label. And they all had different ways that they came to use drugs as a coping skill. But I think as parents, it was fascinating. It was really eye-opening. And it's also something like that would be a great tool for us to be able to use in starting conversations with our kids, because sometimes that's the hardest part, is getting started. And that movie was really a jumping off point. So I don't know if we'll be able to show it again and have Dr. Grover back, but I just think it was so impactful. He also shared with us a guide that he created. It's called Let's Start Talking, a parent's toolkit for understanding substance use through middle school years in the Tri-County region, Monterey, San Benito, and Santa Cruz. And this is like, the dear reader, the parenting thing is hard. Like, thank you. But the book, it's just a very thorough guide with everything from like how to start conversations, or depending on where you're at, how old your kid is. It's never too late. Just really great information that I was happy to take home. I hope all middle school families, I don't know, this would be great to get going into 6th grade. If that's an option, because he did say that if we haven't started the conversation by middle school, we are behind at this point because the world is changing so quickly. So thank you. In kind of a lighter vein, I did get to attend the PGMS talent show. It was incredible. It was the extended version because there were so many acts. They had to add time to the talent show, which was really cool. Everything from a brother-sister rendition of Hamilton to a student who could solve a Rubik's Cube in under 10 seconds. Fascinating, to an all-girl rebel girl band that was just fabulous. And Miss Bailey and Miss Pettis closed out the show and brought the house down. Literally in the way home in the car, we were talking about how we couldn't hear anything because the applause was deafening after they went out in such style. So thank you for inviting us and hosting us. And then another, I guess, just a positive thing coming up is that in the theater world, Adam's Family is coming up at the high school. So another piece of joy if anyone's looking to go and share and watch our talented students. I think that info is probably available and we can probably post it to the community just to, okay. Those are my comments for this evening. Clerk Schmitz. Would you like to go next? Okay.
I know, I wish I was this close to going to the talent show, so I missed it this year. But I went last year and it was really good, so. Did Finn perform? I wanted to know.
This year.
Not this year. Oh, he was the standout last year. Okay.
Yeah, there was an amazing Avengers theme song on brass, a group of boys from seventh grade on brass instruments. It was fantastic. Like so much bravery and so much just talent and skill and willingness. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I never would have done that in seventh or eighth
Me
grade.
neither.
Yeah.
So it's great. I just wanted to mention that our superintendent was nominated for a state award for outstanding superintendent in California, and she received the award. So we had no idea because she didn't tell us until she got the award, and then I don't even like Jen didn't even know. So it was very low key, but I think we really need to applaud that and congratulations.
And on that note, I think that you should bring the award and then we all stand up and take a picture together the way you make everyone else do. So we'll expect that at the next meeting. Just saying, should we vote just to, for direction?
For direction given.
Well, I had the opportunity to attend the open house at the high school with Dr. Adamson, and it was super fun. We toured classrooms. We went to the science lab, which is fantastic. Culinary. It's amazing what they're doing in culinary. And then we got to watch the robotics team bring out this robot that collected balls and then shot them so far. Yeah, it was really neat. So it was a super fun experience, and just great to see all of the incoming freshmen touring campus and checking it all out. So it was a great time.
Thank you. Trustee Wax?
Yes. I think I'm probably forgetting something because this month has been blurry, but we went to the Taste of PG organized by PG Pride, which I live by our godettes who are integral into organizing that. And I might be messing this up, but I think they said 80,000 was raised around that, which is amazing. So thank you to everyone who came, donated, bid on things, won auction items, and I won a hotel stay. I got some sweet hoodies. It was good. And to all the parents and community members who organize that every year. It's really great. I also went to the talent show. Definitely want to applaud Dog Bite, the band playing a Bikini Girl song. I immediately texted my friends from high school and then my wife that I was failing as a parent because my daughter doesn't know Rag Girl stuff. And then I also want to, I'm so sorry for not knowing the teacher's name, but the MC's
Senior Clark.
Oh,
Kaya Greening and Maggie Devine.
yeah, they did so well, and I see Kaya around because she's in a play with my daughter. But I asked her during the first performance, I think she was like composing or like conducting to help the people remember lyrics to a Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga song, and I was like, did you have to do that or something? And she's like, no, I was trying to help them. And you know, like that is like true leadership, and they both really did so well. So congrats to the teachers leading them and the event, and it was lots of fun. So yeah, that's great. And that's it.
Dog Bite was the name of the band.
Oh yeah, Dog Bite.
So fabulous. I felt similarly. I'm like, this is where I want to be. I want to be in Dog Bite. They were so fantastic. Just Incredible. Yeah, really cool seventh graders and an eighth grader. Thank you everyone for your comments this evening and for Beth for making us aware of Superintendent Adamson's award. I look forward to learning more and hearing more about that. When she said, let's move on to the superintendent report, Dr. Adamson.
Thank you so much for your kind words and so many fun things. And thank you all for supporting them and being there and just being able to share everything that's going on. So grateful for that. All right, I do have some slides. So I know Director Binder is going to pull those up. I'm going to go ahead and begin, and we can move straight to the second slide, Director Binder. Thank you. So I'd like to just begin tonight by acknowledging something just really important about our shared goal of building a culture of we across our district through our 3 core values of belonging, safety, and prosperity. This is ongoing work. And it's not perfect. It's never finished. I think that's an important thing for us to acknowledge. It requires intention, reflection, and a willingness to recognize both our progress and the areas where we still need to grow. And something important, it requires all of us. When I hear of situations where someone felt excluded, unsafe, or not welcome, our commitment, my commitment, is to always listen. That feedback matters, and it helps guide us forward and remind us that there's still work to do. And that's exactly the reason why we're not stepping away from that goal. It's too important. No matter how far we've come, we know we have further to go, and we remain committed to going further together. So next time you hear us talking about our ongoing goal of building a culture of we, please know what we mean. It is ongoing, unfinished, imperfect, messy work. And so tonight, I'd like to share some examples of how we continue to build that culture through our 3 core values of belonging, safety, and prosperity. I'm going to start with belonging, and that goes on to that next slide. It is LCAP season, as all of you know, and I want to sincerely thank our families, our staff, and our students for sharing their feedback. We received a short of 300 family responses so far, with the survey closing tomorrow, along with gathering input directly from students in grades 3rd through 12th. Thank you to those of you who showed up in person for one of 3 input sessions these last few weeks. This feedback is critical and will help us refine our current 3-year plan. Belonging was also on full display a few weeks ago at the Joint Elementary STEAM Night at PGMS. I was so proud to learn of the strong collaboration across our principals, our staff, PTA volunteers, students, and families. Truly a culture of we in action. We also continue to celebrate the diversity of our community. Over the past 2 weeks, many of our families observed Ramadan, Passover, and Easter, with celebrations taking place across our schools, creating opportunities for learning, connection, and inclusion. And then on the topic of student voice, I was so happy to be able to meet with our high school advisory class 2 weeks ago. I heard honest feedback about strengths and areas for growth. Definitely an area of growth and concern that the students wanted to focus on was that of the use of AI. But a highlight for me was hearing from our freshmen who shared how welcome they'd felt this first year of high school, and the many opportunities they found to find connection through activities, programs, and clubs. All of that feedback, along with all the other student feedback, obviously is making it into our LCAP input and will be reflected through the themes. All right, moving on to safety, which is our next slide. This week we hosted, as you've heard from some of our trustees, a powerful fentanyl awareness event at PGMS featuring the film Fentanyl High, a movie filmed and directed by a former Los Gatos student, senior, chronicling the stories of several parents whose children lost their lives to fentanyl. The film was also followed by a discussion with Dr. Grover. So yes, we're definitely going to be looking at other opportunities to bring this. It was a small group, but very powerful. Definitely a sobering and important opportunity for families and staff to better understand the impact of fentanyl and how we can work together to address this issue. So more to come on that. At PGHS, students participated in the Bullying Prevention Assembly, which our student representative talked about this evening, led by Harmony at Home, a meaningful experience with students fully engaged throughout. And that's something to have your entire student body in the gym engaged in an assembly. Of course, as was mentioned, it concluded with a performance by Mr. Kelly and Dr. Warren, who I'm told brought the house down. We have a quick little video of that. If we wouldn't mind just sharing, it's a quick snippet, but I think it's important for you all to get a sense of what that looked like. That is the slideshow, Dr. Binder. The link is actually on the actual the video that's on the slide. That's one we'll show shortly, but let me just see. Yes, that's it. Thank you. Thank you. 2 videos. Thank you, Mr. Binder. All right, definitely bringing the house down. A great way to end it. All right, moving on to prosperity. Our campuses have been full of learning, creativity, and celebration these past few weeks. At PGHS, you've also heard about VAPA, Visual and Performing Arts Week, which brought incredible energy to campus with students and staff embracing the theme, the Roaring Twenties. There's a slideshow that I thought we could just take a quick look at that shows some amazing photos from that event. Mm. Mm. Pretty amazing. A page that probably doesn't do it justice at all. I mean, this was a week of vibrancy and just amazing to be a part of. I got to see a small snippet of a half hour of it on one of the days. So just congratulations to the staff and students for working together on that. That same week, as our trustee Otmar talked about, it was also Pacific Grove High School well-attended and well-coordinated open house. Again, just, lots of vibrancy. I think a significant change this year was moving it to the spring. So, later hours, sunshine, just more of a vibe on campus. So just so much fun. At the elementary level, I've gotten to get into many classes in the past 2 weeks. I just love getting to see from our youngest learners how they're learning on building their foundational skills, our upper students engaging in complex multi-step problem solving. Continue to be impressed how our teachers are implementing the new EL education. And then a big thing I've noticed is the increase in our student teachers this year. And I'm just so grateful to our veteran teachers for taking them under their wing. We've got an amazing group, hearing from our veteran teachers and our student teachers. Thank you to our staff for giving back and paying that forward to just the field of education. It's going to be exciting to see them as they launch into their careers next year. Last week, I also had a special visit from PGMS principal for a day, and I think that's on the next slide, is it? Yes, there we go. That's Principal Roach in the back, not looking very happy because Becca James, I had put in some, stiff rules for the day from what I understand, but it was just very engaging to hear from him. I also got a chance to attend Robert Down's second grade performance of Together, just highlighting our themes of understanding and acceptance. Great job to Mr. Mazer there. And I think that really brings it to an end. I just, finally, the last part, yes, the PGMS talent show, right? Just, we've heard a lot about that. What an amazing event to be a part of and to see in action. So just thank you to our staff. I know we're heading into spring break next week. I just encourage everyone to, hopefully you're taking time for yourselves to recharge, refill your cups. That's going to be very necessary. And with that, I turn it back to you, President Mary.
Thank you, Dr. Adamson. Principal Roach, you did not look happy in that photo. You were replaced. Oh. Things went well on campus with Principal James at the helm. And maybe he's got a future career in leadership. Next on our agenda is our safety report.
Thank you, President McMary. As Dr. Adamson mentioned, we've had 3 different LCAP sessions recently, one of which Director Martinez provided an overview of our safety plan and how the protocols directly align with the goals of our LCAP 1, 2, and 4. We had a pretty heavily attended meeting that night. It was also our safety committee meeting as well, joint meeting with the LCAP. On the first of the month, we sent a survey out to help improve our understanding of safe routes to schools as the district and the city partners with TAMC on future safe route to school projects. The survey short, for those of you listening online, takes about 5 minutes to complete and will help us move forward with some of the projects within the city that we would partner on with the city and TAMC. Under drug awareness and prevention assemblies, as Dr. Adamson mentioned, Dr. Grover had a few scheduled for us, one of which is Robert Down, May 1st at 9 o'clock, Forest Grove, April 24th at 10:30 a.m. And then, as Dr. Adamson mentioned in her update, PGUSD hosted the Fentanyl High Movie Night. And Fentanyl Awareness Day, as a reminder, is April 29th. And then a couple of future items just to pay attention to. In June, staff is going to bring forward a comprehensive review of our 5-year safety plan to the board. And we'll highlight the fact that in 2026, we will be reviewing all of the safety audit findings once more that were established in our comprehensive threat and risk assessment from 23. And we'll take a look at our current needs and any pivoting we may need to do moving forward as it relates to training and support for our sites. That's it for me tonight.
Thank you for your report. The next item on our agenda is individuals desiring to address the board. I will read out the rules regarding public comment. Public comment on any item of interest to the public that is within the board's jurisdiction will be heard, and the board will also take public comment on each specific agenda item prior to board action. Any individual wishing to comment on a specific item on the agenda is asked to wait until that item is being discussed. The board will allow a reasonable time for public comment on each agenda item. Each speaker has 3 minutes, and there will be no more than 20 minutes for public comment pursuant to board policy. Just a reminder that this is a meeting of the Board of Education, and it's a business meeting conducted in public, and that the Brown Act and the law limits our ability to respond to any public comment, though we may choose to direct items to the administration for action or future agenda. So with that, we will begin with community member public comments on non-agenda items. If there are any community members wishing to contribute, please raise your hand online or come forward to the podium. Just give it a moment. Okay, seeing none. Item B, we will move on to is PGUSD staff comments on non-agenda items. If anyone would like to make a comment, please raise your hand or come forward. Okay. No public comments this evening. The next item on our agenda is our consent agenda. Items that are listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and may have been discussed at a previous meeting. There is no discussion of these items prior to board vote unless a member of the board specifically or requests specific items be discussed and pulled from the agenda. Each item on consent is approved by the Board of Trustees and shall be deemed considered in full and adopted as recommended. This evening, we have a consent agenda consisting of items A through L. The first thing I will do is go out to public comment on the consent agenda. Is there anyone wishing to make a public comment on consent? Okay. With that, I'll bring it back to the board for any discussion or really any items, if there are any, to pull for this evening? I'm seeing no movement towards the microphones, which is just fine. Which I'm guessing is no well, that is our board discussion, done. Any comments from our student trustee on the consent agenda this evening? No, okay. With that, is there a motion from the board on consent?
I'll move to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion made by trustee Wax and seconded by clerk Shammas. First, we will go to our student trustee vote. Are you in favor? You can say aye or no.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All remaining trustees in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? No, that passes 4-0 with one trustee absent. Thank you, everyone. The first item on moving on to our action discussion portion of the agenda is item A, resolution number 1185, 2026 school board trustee elections with the Monterey County Elections Department. And this is your item, Dr. Adamson.
Absolutely. Well, this is something routine that we bring forward on an election year. For this year, on November 3rd, voting day, we will have, we are required to, we will be bringing forward a vote for trustee areas 1, 3, and 5. And this is really just part of our requirement to notify the county that we will be holding an election for those 3 areas. And so really, I am requesting the board this evening to adopt this resolution that would allow us to place that on the ballot for November 3rd for those 3 trustee areas.
Thank you, Dr. Adamson. Are there any public comments on this agenda item? No hands raised and no one in the room. I will bring it back to the board for discussion. We have before us the resolution, and there is a revised statement of election facts that was in our binders this evening that accurately captures all of our terms. Beyond that, I think, Dr. Adamson, in terms of having elections in 3 zones, I see our map right here. I'm wondering, is this going to be enough so people can see where they live and know if they're on like the right side of 9th Street and they're in zone 1 or they're in I just want to be able to give the information out so that it's easy to access and that so that we can tell people when they're asking or they're interested and community members can know which zone they're in if they're interested in joining the board.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one that's in the hard packet, no, to answer that question, you cannot tell that. However, from what I understand is the map that is online, there is the ability to, add a tool, which I know our Director of Technology was working on. So I'll get confirmation that that is current up as of now, but to allow for people to go ahead and actually zoom in and be able to tell exactly, even if it's down to the, area of a street, if one side is one area and on the other side, the other.
Great.
So that is what we are working on to ensure that's available.
You. And my other question was if we are going to kind of send out a district-wide communication to the community to make them aware of elections and the election boundaries and just to begin gathering interest.
I'll make a note of that for communication.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's something.
And Assistant Sweep Dawn just said as well on the ballot as well, the areas will be shown,
Yes.
more clearly. As
I
well.
think it's
So,
more
yeah.
right now in case people are interested in running. So if they know if they're living in zone 1 or zone 3 or zone 5 or their neighbor who's interested in running is in the same zone, because it can be pretty tricky and I want the public to be able to know which zone is which. Those were my questions. Thank you. Any other board member questions on this, comments on this item? Trustee Clerk Schmoss?
Yeah, just that in the resolution, it doesn't really say when the deadline is for applying for the board position. And I believe it's usually in August sometime. So it could be helpful to have that information out there. And I would just wonder if any of the three people that are going to be up for reelection, if they know they're not going to run again, you know, to let people know soon enough before that August, deadline, so that when we don't get into a situation where we don't have anybody that is ready to run. Other than that, I went online, you can enlarge it on the map. So it's fairly decent, but we can also encourage people to let us know what address they have so we can verify what district they're in. Anyway.
Trustee Wax?
Yes, the 60,000 just goes to the county to get it on the ballot. It's
Correct, that's the cost. Yeah, not cheap.
that's it.
One other thing, just so that.
Can you turn your mic on?
Sorry, thought I did. Our district pays for the statement, the candidate statement. So that was our kind of offer to help make it more fair to people, to be able to, because otherwise candidates are paying for their statement if they're going to put a statement in the book, but we pay for their statement. So
perhaps that would be good information to
Yeah.
be sharing when whatever this communication that comes out with the deadlines for
Mhm.
filing and what the district provides, because that is important information. Okay. I don't recall what we did 2 years ago. No?
I
Okay.
don't think we did any kind of communication.
Okay.
Yeah, we will.
Well, I'm looking
do
forward
that
to
moving
that.
forward.
then.
There wasn't a catapult text? Sorry.
Okay. No, seeing no further board discussion on this item. Are there any comments from our student representative with regard to the school board election this fall? I'll bring it back then to the board. Would anyone like to make the motion? Oh. We did. We did public comment before board discussion. Yes, thank you for double checking.
sorry.
It's okay.
I'll move to accept resolution number 1185 about the school board trustee election.
Okay, motion made by trustee Wax,
A second.
a second from clerk Shamas. All those or student board representative vote?
Aye.
Thank you. The rest of the board, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? That passes 4-0 with one trustee absent. Thank you. Moving to item B, this is resolution number 1186, issuance of a tax and revenue anticipation note, TRAN, not to exceed $8 million. Assistant Superintendent Jordan.
Thank you, President McNary. This is a routine item, but I will explain for the audience and those online tonight what it is that the board has in front of them to approve this evening with 1186. The district has been part of the California School Board Association's cash reserve program going on. We're walking into our 29th year. This is because the district is a basic aid school district, and as a basic aid school district, we do receive our property tax revenue in chunks throughout the year. So as a basic aid school district, it's tough to maintain cash flow within the district. So this district has been part of a tax revenue anticipation note offering for a very long time now, which allows us the revenue to bridge those gaps between property tax assessment time of year. So basically December and April. Ultimately, when we receive our final tax revenue for the fiscal year in April or May, there's a bridge between then and December where there's really very limited revenue coming into the district, but there are expenditures, of course, every single month and liabilities associated with those expenses. So What we're doing tonight is bringing forward the TRAN, tax revenue anticipation note, not to exceed 8 million for the 26-27 fiscal year. I will note that the $8 million was the same size TRAN that we had sized for this year, 25-26. So we have seen some leveling on the cash flow for our district. And as you can see at the bottom, there is a fiscal impact associated with this TRAN. Cost of issuance is 52,000, and then the interest associated with the TRAN is around 230,000. And I will note this is a 1-year TRAN, tax revenue anticipation note, or a bridge financing program that the district utilizes that's due and payable at the end of each fiscal year. In fact, we just paid off the TRAN this year through county treasury this month. And I will be open for any questions.
Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Jorn. We will first go out to public comment on this item. Is there anyone wishing to address the board, either in person or online? Okay, seeing no hands up and no one approaching the podium, I will bring it back to the board and our student rep for any comments on our big giant loan that we have to get to cover expenses until we receive our property taxes. That's, I mean, when you break it down, that's essentially what it is. We have to have a loan to cover expenses until our property taxes come in, because they don't come in consistently at one time, all at once or anything. So it sounds big and it sounds scary when you look at $8 million. I mean, just as a monetary figure, but but this is, like you said, routine. So any other board members wishing to comment on the TRAN or our student rep? Trustee Otmar?
I just, I know this is routine, and that it's something that we have to do to bridge us through until we get the payment. But it does pain me to look at the cost of issuance plus interest when we just had RIFs. So I at least want to just put that out there that if it wasn't essential, we wouldn't do it. So kind of coming on the heels of layoffs, I think it's important to put that out there that if we could make it work, we would. So I just wanted to say that out loud.
Thank you for sharing that. Trustee Wax?
And I'll just note in his absence that Dr. Hazen wants us to look at what we would need to not need a TRAN in future years too. So
definitely. Yeah.
Hopefully, if possible.
Yeah. At some point for the future, that's the goal. With that, no further discussion. Would anyone on the board like to make the motion?
I'll move that we adopt resolution number 1186, the issuance of a tax and revenue anticipation note not to exceed $8 million.
Motion made by trustee Shamos.
Second.
Okay, and a second from trustee Wax. Student representative vote aye or no?
Aye.
Thank you. Remainder of the board, all of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any noes? Seeing none, this passes 4-0 with one abstention or one absence, excuse me. The next item on our agenda is on page 126. Item C, which is resolution 1190, recognizing May as Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. This is your item, Dr. Adamson.
Yes, it is. We have 3 resolutions we're bringing forward this evening for recognitions, and this is the first of 3. I'm thinking more along the lines of, recognitions here at the school, but you are right, it is 4. As I bring forward resolution 1190, proclaiming May 2026 as Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, I want to take a moment to connect this recognition to our core value of belonging. At PGUSD, belonging means ensuring that every student sees themselves reflected, valued, and celebrated in our schools. Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month provides an important opportunity for us to honor the rich histories, cultures, and contributions of Asian American and Pacific Islander communities, while also deepening understanding across our district.
I'm especially grateful for the intentional efforts of our staff across all of our sites who have thoughtfully planned activities throughout the month, from library displays and literature that highlight student voices and experiences to parent-led bulletin board displays, classroom lessons, student engagement opportunities, and family involvement. Many sites will be utilizing a rich online resource from the Smithsonian, as well as featuring novels such as The Silence That Binds Us and We Are Not Free at the high school level. All of this elevating perspective and stories. So it's with that spirit that I recommend the adoption of Resolution 1190 this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Adamson. We will go out to public comment on this resolution. And we will bring it back to the board with no public comments. Are there any comments from the? Typically, do we read the resolution? That's where we're at. Okay. I think next we typically read the resolution. Trustee Wax, would you like to read the resolution for us this evening?
Yes, so it'd be my pleasure. Resolution number 1190, resolution proclaiming May 2026 as Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Whereas Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, API Heritage Month, is an annual celebration that recognizes the historical and cultural contributions of individuals and groups of Asian and Pacific Islander descent to the United States. And whereas the Asian American and Pacific Islander community is an inherently diverse population composed of more than 45 distinct ethnicities and more than 100 language dialects. And whereas, according to the July 1st, 2022 Census Bureau, Asians represent 6.1% and Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islanders make up 0.3% of the total population of the United States. And whereas California has the largest Asian American population in the United States and the second highest proportion of Asian American residents after Hawaii. And in the Pacific Grove Unified School District, Asian students make up 9.4% of the population. Pacific Islanders make up 0.6% of the student population. And whereas the month of May was selected for Asian/Pacific American Heritage Month because the first Japanese immigrants arrived in the United States on May 7th, 1843, and the first transcontinental railroad was completed on May 10th, 1869, with substantial contributions from Chinese immigrants. And whereas Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders have played a key role in American history since the first Chinese immigrants arrived to the United States in the 1850s, following the California Gold Rush. And whereas there are numerous historical Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders contributors to the United States, including activists, actors, architects, athletes, artists, authors, more activists, creators, doctors, entrepreneurs, inventors, musicians, performers, political leaders, scientists, singers, writers, and so many more. And whereas the Pacific Grove Unified School District celebrates Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month and recognizes the significant contributions that Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders offer the community at large. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Pacific Grove Unified School District Board of Education hereby declare May 2026 as Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. We urge all community members to join us in recognizing Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders.
Thank you, Trustee Wax. And thank you, Dr. Adamson, for sharing some of the ways that students are engaging this month. Now it is appropriate for board discussion. Are there any board members wishing to comment on this item? Clerk Shamas.
Yeah, well, one thing I want just to ask the student rep if the schools does anything. Do you know if your high school has recognized this at all?
I'm not sure, but I know the ethnic studies class that's been added is a big help in representing all the different ethnicities that we have.
That's good. But you, as a student rep, could take it back to them and say, hey, by the way, May is this month. You know, it's one thing just to have a resolution, but you want to have some trickle down effect of something. And the one thing I remember about Pacific Islanders, we have a few. And when my daughter was in high school, we had a Pacific Islander on the basketball team. And the team was doing really well. And after a while, we used to do this Tongan chant. She was from Tonga. Do you remember that, Erica? Oh, okay. Well, you would have been coming to the games. Yes, so, but we used to do a Tongan chant before each game, and it was so much fun. And it was just, again, this recognition of, someone that has a culture that the rest of us didn't really know that much about, but it was inclusive. And so just hope that something fun like that happens.
Any other trustees wishing to comment on this item? With that, I will look to the board for a motion to adopt Resolution 1190 proclaiming May 2026 as Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Thank you, Trustee Otmar. Motion made by Trustee Otmar. I will make the second. Okay, motion made by Trustee Otmar, second from Trustee McNary. We will first go over to our student rep.
Aye.
You. Remainder of the board, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, are there any noes? Motion passes 4-0 with one trustee absent. Okay, thank you, everyone. Item D is Resolution 1191, recognizing May as Mental Health Awareness Month on page 129 in our packets. And this is also your item, Dr. Adamson.
Absolutely. Thank you. So yes, our resolution 1191 proclaiming May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month. I'd like to connect this to our core values of safety and belonging, because at its heart, mental health is about feeling seen, supported, and safe. I'd like to begin by recognizing our incredible mental health support team, including our counselors, our psychologists. I think I include our health clerks and district nurse in that group, our mental health therapists across our sites, along with Executive Director Cork Anthony, for the exceptional care and support that they provide to our students each and every day. At the same time, I want to acknowledge that this work does not rest solely with our specialists. Every member of our staff, regardless of role, contributes to the well-being of our students. Our goal is simple yet important, that every child in PGUSD should have and is connected to at least one adult who they feel they can turn to, someone they know they can count on and reach out to when they're in need, no matter what. The recognition of this month is important because it helps build awareness and sends a clear message to our students. It's okay to not be okay. And the path to healing begins by reaching out, by talking, and by supporting one another. So it's with that spirit that I recommend the adoption of Resolution 1191.
Thank you, Dr. Adamson. And this evening, Trustee Otmar, would you please read the resolution for us?
I'd love to do that. Thank you. This is resolution number 1191, resolution proclaiming May 2026 as Mental Health Awareness Month. Whereas National Mental Health Awareness Month is an important opportunity to recognize the impact of mental health for all Americans, including students, teachers, and staff at the Pacific Grove Unified School District. And whereas we support and thank mental health service providers who work with people living with mental health conditions. And whereas our school district recognizes the importance of removing stigma from the conversation about mental health. And whereas, according to the National Alliance on Mental Health Illness, 1 in 5 adults in the United States experiences a mental health illness each year, and 1 in 6 youth aged 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder each year. And whereas suicide is the second leading cause of death among youth aged 10 to 14, and third leading cause of death for people aged 15 to 24, according to NAMI. And whereas our school district prioritizes the social, emotional, and mental well-being of students. And this school year invested more than 1.5 million of its local control accountability plan funding toward mental health support. And whereas our school district works to provide additional mental health supports for students in need through Monterey County Behavioral Health. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Pacific Grove Unified School District Board of Education that we recognize May 2026 as National Mental Health Awareness Month.
Thank you, Trustee Otmar. Next, we will go out to public comment on this resolution. Is there anyone wishing to address the board in person or online? Okay. Seeing no one, I will bring it back to the board for any comments or discussion on this resolution. Clerk Shamas, go right ahead.
I don't think you can overstate how important this is. And I mean, it just seems like we're seeing more and more younger and younger children affected by different mental health issues. And so it's so important to be able to identify as early as possible anything that could be going on with a child. I speak from experience, and it's a long, long journey. And there's more information now than there was, 30 years ago. But still, there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of fear maybe around different mental health disorders that doesn't contribute to being a supportive atmosphere. So, I just hope that that staff, is as educated as they can get in terms of knowing what to do if they see any signs of depression, psychosis, anxiety. There's so much out there now that, I mean, it's just unbelievable to me right now. So it's really important, and I'm just encouraging all staff to, and students as well, to be aware, be supportive, don't be afraid to intervene when necessary. Yeah, and students too, like the high school students, middle school students, even elementary students can learn some of these things about mental health that can be calming to them, and so they don't isolate. And so anyway, that's my soapbox.
Well said, Trustee Shamas. More conversations and normalization around the topic, and I think we'll all be safer, our kids will be safer. And like you said, being able to say it's okay to not be okay and to ask for help. I think one of the things I'm learning in parenting and mental health, my own mental health and family mental health, is using subtitles, and just even that, I don't know what I need today, but like, I'm not feeling all right. Or something's off, like I shouldn't be alone. Just as simple as that. But I think the more as we as adults can normalize the conversations and normalize just saying the word anxiety without the fear, or without feeling the internal stigma of something's different or wrong about me, the more we will be able to share that with our kids and model for them, that everybody's different. So, and sometimes those that are struggling aren't the ones who look like they're struggling. So just to be kind as we're moving through. But that'll be my soapbox to add to your soapbox. Thank you. Any other trustees wishing to comment?
No,
I
yeah.
just wanted to say thank you for bringing this. And just speaking about how if there's an adult looking at, if every child in our district has an adult that they know, or even a peer, someone in their peer group that they know that they can talk to, I think that that's important. It's important to kind of create a net for kids, and understanding that it really is not that uncommon to have anxiety or to feel depressed or to just not feel right and to not be okay. I think it's something that probably all of us experience at some point, and we don't just talk about it because there's such stigma around it. So I'm just glad we're talking about it, and that that this is something that is now in conversation. And I hope that it continues to be in conversation at the school sites and throughout the district, and not only just students, but with staff, because teaching is not an easy job either. So just sort of knowing that it's not just about the students too, that there are plenty of staff members that probably need just as much support out there. So that's all. And it's not a soapbox, ladies.
Touche. Trustee Wax.
Yeah, thanks for everyone's comments and bringing this to light, and thanks for all the staff, not just the counselors, but there is so much social emotional learning and mental health that I feel like teachers and support staff add to the wellness of our kids. And to echo Trustee Shamasa's points, staff and teachers definitely should, focus on their mental health as well. And then I realize that there are probably 0 kids watching, but I like the thing about depression or anxiety is like the most pernicious part is that you think that's like reality, and like there's no way of getting out of it. So like I just remember like feeling so horrible in high school. Not all the time, but that's depression. But and when you're clear, healthy, it really is just like, whoa, whoa, So that stat about suicide is, I mean, for any age group or for any demographic, it's awful, but it's to think about people so young thinking like that was the only way of living is just so tragically sad to me. And I know we have great resources in the district, and again, for the non-existent students listening, I just want to echo that California has 2 app options for free too, the Saluna app and then Bright Life Kids. I haven't used them, but they seem well funded and good. So just use the resources if you're feeling a particular way.
Trustee Wax. And Trustee Almer, to your point about every student having someone to feel connected to, I know from spending time visiting, not touring, visiting the middle school with Dr. Adamson, that one of the projects that the principal team is working on there is quite literally a spreadsheet to make sure every kid has at least one adult that they can go to, and finding the kids who haven't found their adult yet, and finding, just actually doing the physical exercise of, putting into practice and documenting it. So, I mean, it just really great example of making sure everyone's feeling included in finding belonging at that site. So thank you, Mr. Roach and Mr. Tabani. Student Rep Houston, would you like to make any comments on this resolution, or do you know of any activities that leadership or the student body has planned for mental health awareness?
I believe that some of our counselors are planning a denim day for sexual assault awareness, and that ASB has started amping up our promotion of all the resources we have on campus.
Thanks. Do we know when Denim Day is? Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Um, all right, wrapping up discussion. Can I please get a motion from the board?
Also move.
Okay, motion made to recognize May as Mental Health Awareness Month this year. Second?
Well, second.
Motion made by trustee Otmar and a second from trustee Wax. We will first go to our student representative vote. Are you in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And to the rest of the board, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any noes? Okay, hearing none, that passes 4-0 with one absent. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the discussion. Resolution 1192, item E is School Principals Day, which is May 1st, 2026. This is your item again, Dr. Adamson.
Yes, it is. All right. Well, School Principal Day, and I'd like to take a moment to speak directly to our group of leaders who are sitting at the back of this room with us today. And I'm going to call them out by name right now. Principal Arbroon, Principal Brownfield, Principal Roach, Assistant Principal Tavani, Principal O'Meara, Assistant Principal Keller, Principal Martinez, and Assistant Principal Arps. This day is set aside to honor each of you. Your role, like so many in education, is often thankless, yet it carries tremendous responsibility. You serve as the bridge between our students, our staff, our families, and the broader vision of our district. Your commitment, your presence, your courage, and your ability to lead with both heart and focus are simply inspiring. I know firsthand what each of you navigates on a daily basis, the complexity, the pressure, the weight of the responsibility for the well-being and success of every one of your students. The work is demanding, emotionally, mentally, sometimes even physically, and yet day after day, you show up with resilience and a smile on your faces to do it all again. Your role is to carry both the celebrations and the challenges. You take ownership when things go well, but you step forward with grace and determination when they don't. And that's the hard part. Through it all, you remain grounded in your purpose and your why, which I know full well is making a difference in the lives of the incredible students each of you serves. It's truly an honor, and I say that with all my heart, to serve alongside each of you, and a privilege for me tonight to recognize each of you in this way. It is with great appreciation and honor that I recommend the adoption of Resolution 1192 to recognize each of these incredible, fearless, courageous leaders.
Dr. Adamson, Clerk Shamas, will you read the resolution for us this evening, please?
Resolution recognizing May 1st, 2026 as School Principals Day. Whereas May 1, 2026 has been designated as School Principals Day, and whereas today's school principal is a team leader, coach, counselor, collaborator, cheerleader, and more, all in one. And whereas being a site instructional leader and building a positive school culture and climate on campus may be the most critical roles of a principal's duty to all students. And whereas instructional leadership of principals involves setting clear goals, managing curriculum, monitoring lesson plans, allocating resources equitably, and evaluating data regularly to drive grade level readiness. And whereas when good school leaders excel, their actions can change the lives of students, staff, and community members. And whereas principals overcome obstacles and challenges daily to make a difference in the lives of students and families, and whereas we are fortunate to have dedicated site leaders that go above and beyond each and every day for the district's students. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Pacific Grove Unified School District Board of Education commends our principals and encourages parents in the community to recognize the efforts of principals as we celebrated May 1, 2026.
Thank you, Clerk Shamas. We will first go out to public comment on this item. Is there anyone in the public wishing to address the board or comment on School Principals Day? Okay, seeing no hands up online. Anyone in the room wishing to address the board? No. I will bring it back to the board for discussion on this item. Trustee Otmar?
I just want to say thank you to all of you. I don't know how you all manage so much. And I don't even know the half of it because the amount of time that you guys dedicate, I'm not sure how any of you raise kids or have life outside of work. But just thank you because it shows and in our students, it shows on campus, it shows in our district, and you guys are the reason this district is so great. You guys are like boots on the ground and running everything and making everything so fantastic. So I'm just grateful, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of you, and I'm glad this is here in front of us. So thank you for bringing it. Thanks, you guys.
Well said, Trustee Otmar. Oh. Yeah, agreed. You are everywhere, principals. And I don't know how, like, honestly, when I was a kid, I thought a principal just had a job that they went to school in the morning when we did, and then they went home and that was it. But the amount, I know, right? How naive, but just, I mean, as a parent, you get a very different lens of seeing how much you do and how much you care and how much you pour your all into our students and how you stay up one night late at a presentation and you're back out there to greet on the blacktop at 8 a.m. And just be there for the kids. So I'm eternally grateful. You have spent a lot of time with my children, and Mr. Rogaman too as well, back in the Forest Grove days. But thank you eternally for what you do to serve our students and keep it up. Yeah, this is exciting. Thanks. Trust.
I mean, you are in control of my kids, so thank you so much. I don't want to toss you. No, it is like an amazing crew, but I mean, not to take away from this day, but it is true that it's at every level. Like we're great with teachers. I love the staff at the district office. So it really does take everyone to make this thing run. But on today for a month from now, thank you so much. And you know, I don't drive by every school, but I always end up driving by the middle school, and inevitably it's always during lunch. And Mr. Roach or Mr. Tavani are just like walking with kids, and it's great. It's like you're just real people with kids. Yeah, and it's terrible because they keep on beating you up because you're both in splints and stuff. But I hope it's worth it somehow, you know. No, but thank you all.
Thank you, everyone, for your comments. We will now look for a motion from the board to approve the resolution or adopt the resolution.
I move that we adopt the resolution number 1192.
Okay, motion made by trustee or clerk Shamas and a second from trustee Otmar. Student rep vote. Aye. Thank you. Remainder of the board, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any noes? No. Motion passes 4-0 with one absent. Thank you, Dr. Adamson. Thank you. Item F is going to be resolution number 1193, honoring the service of Robin McCrae. And this is your item, Dr. Adamson?
Yes, the fourth resolution indeed this evening. Well, yes, it's my honor to bring forward this resolution honoring the dedicated service of Robin McCrae, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Community Human Services. She is retiring after 33 years of service to Monterey County in her role as Chief Executive Officer. Community Human Services is a nonprofit agency dedicated to providing high-quality mental health, substance abuse, and homeless services to Monterey County residents to help them reach their full potential. And it's my honor to be bringing forward this resolution for your approval this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Adamson. As the current board member for the Community Human Services Board, I volunteered to read this resolution honoring the service of Robin McCrae. All of the jurisdiction, school boards and city councils within Community Human Services were offered the opportunity to honor her service to the community and to the county. So this is our moment for that. Resolution number 1193, honoring the service of Robin McCrae. Whereas Pacific Grove Unified School District is a member agency of Community Human Services, a joint powers authority serving Monterey County, and has benefited from the leadership and stewardship provided through that partnership. And whereas Robin McCrae has served as Chief Executive Officer of Community Human Services for 33 years, providing sustained leadership, strategic direction, and a strong commitment to public service on behalf of the residents of Monterey County. And whereas during her tenure, Community Human Services strengthened and expanded programs supporting healthcare access, homeless services, mental health services, and substance use disorder treatment, enhancing access to essential services throughout the county. And whereas Robin McCrae has led Community Human Services with integrity, professionalism, and dedication, earning the respect of staff, partner agencies, and public sector collaborators. And whereas her decades of stewardship contributed to organizational stability, sound governance practices, and effective interagency collaboration within the Community Human Services Joint Powers Authority. And whereas her work on behalf of vulnerable individuals and families has had a meaningful, lasting impact on the Monterey County community, particularly those experiencing homelessness, mental health challenges, and substance use disorders. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Pacific Grove Unified School District hereby recognizes and honors Robin McCrae for her 33 years of exemplary service and leadership as Chief Executive Officer of Community Human Services. Be it further resolved that Pacific Grove Unified School District expresses its sincere appreciation for her dedication, vision, and enduring contributions to the Community Human Services, its member agencies, and the residents of Monterey County. Be it further resolved that Pacific Grove Unified School District congratulates Robin McCrae on the occasion of her retirement and extends best wishes for continued fulfillment, good health, and success in future endeavors. With that, I will go out to public comment on this agenda item. It's been a quiet night. And seeing no public comment, I'll bring it back to the board members for any discussion on this item. Yes, Clerk Shamas.
I feel like I need to say something because Robin came to the board when I first got on the board because there was this was back in 98, and there was a definite feeling among newer board members that I had just joined the board, but there was some that just wanted to drop out of the partnership with CHS. And she came to the board and pleaded with us not to do that because we were actually, part of this community, but some of the people on our board were comparing, like saying, well, how many PG kids do you really serve? And yes, okay, there was fewer PG kids that were being served than maybe some other districts, but she made the point that, our participation mattered. And I agreed with her. And so I asked the rest of the board to just let's give it a chance. I'll volunteer to be the rep. They went for it. And so you know, she 33 years, that means she started in 93. But actually Community Human Services started, I believe, in 1969. Okay, and that was a response to the huge drug use culture that started in the late 60s with around high school students. So but what she did with this program was she so expanded it. I mean, it just went, she really went above and beyond what maybe the original parameters of it were, so that she had a methadone clinic started, homeless youth services, you know, drug counseling, family counseling. So she was really the backbone of this organization. And I think she tried to retire a few years ago and then they wouldn't let her. So, so anyway, I guess this is for good, but I congratulate her because truly, I mean, when you see people like this who have dedicated their lives to a cause such as this, it's so impressive. So
Really well said. Yeah. 2 shelters on the peninsula for women and children, one in Monterey, one in Seaside. Outpatient services for youth in Salinas she started a foundation recently to grow money for the nonprofit in her retirement. But yeah, just an incredible figure on the peninsula and just a dedicated public figure who's really impacted a lot of lives and the most vulnerable amongst us. And I agree with you. We're not paying into it because we know it's going to be 100 of our students who are going to benefit. But when we do have a family or a student that needs or requires, or just a community member, I'm proud of us for being willing to be part of the greater good and be willing to be part of preventative services and care. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Trustee Shamas. Any other trustees wishing to make comments at this time? Okay. Any comments from our student rep? Okay. With that, I would be happy to make the motion to adopt resolution 1192 honoring the dedicated service of Robin McCray, CEO of Community Human Services. Can I get a second?
second.
Okay, motion made by me and seconded by Clerk Shamas. Student rep vote. Aye. Thank you. Rest of the board, all of those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Are there any noes? No, that passes 4-0 with 1 absent. And thank you all for honoring Robin as a district and a board. And I think we'll get a copy of the resolution to her after it's signed. Okay. Okay. We have now gotten through the resolution portion of the agenda and we are on to item G, award of public bid 2026 quick start project list for Robert Down. And I will turn it over to you, Assistant Superintendent Jorn.
Thank you, President McNary. And I'll just quickly highlight, and then I'll bring Dustin Connor, our program manager, and Director Anderson up to the microphone. But it brings me great pleasure to start tonight with bringing forward a couple of projects. G and H, both are related to Measure D project quick start list that the board approved earlier this year. And what brings me even a larger smile is the bidding market that we're dealing with right now, not only in this district, but in our county. So we establish a engineer's cost estimate for every single one of these projects. We present that to the board. It's part of our bond measure program list. And then when the bidding begins, sometimes, we have a little bit of trepidation over what the costs are going to look like in reality. I'm very happy to state this evening that both of these bids came in well under budget, which helps us reallocate some of those funds moving forward. So first item tonight is our quick start project bid award for Robert Down Elementary site work. It's actually the second, that's Forest Grove. It's the second site plan. You can see that up on the screen. The board's seen this before. A lot of programming and design went into this project, not only with our design team, but of course, it started with the stakeholders, our teachers, our staff, our principals, and then ultimately the design was brought forward for approval by the board. Again, bids came in well under budget for this project. The project budget for this was around 1.8 million, and the project came in at about just over $1 million. This project is going to start this summer. And with the approval of the board tonight, we will get contracts issued and begin the procurement process. And I will stop talking now. And if I could invite our program manager, Dustin Connor, up, and Director Anderson to maybe talk a little bit more about this project.
Good evening, everyone. So good news, the bids came in well under budget, and so for Robert Down, I think I know our budget was 1.3 million, and we came in around 1 million. So there's $300,000 savings here that will push forward to next summer's work. This summer we bid off doing a lot of site work in the back area. So asphalt work, all this gray is asphalt work, and then new striping and doing some fencing over there on the west side. And then new ADA path work coming up from the corner of the building right here. And then we actually had an ad alternate, which was this right-hand side here, which we didn't know if we had all the money to do the whole scope. Turns out we do. So we're going to do all the lower side of the Robert Down site work. Next summer, we're doing the outdoor classroom amphitheater portion, and that will bridge the hillside between the upper section and the lower section, right in this area right here. So I think we budgeted like 500,000 for that in Measure B funding, and so we'll be able to push 300 forward towards that project, and then that will have that savings in Measure B will roll forward. So very good news. Go ahead.
At this point, I would just like to point out that this started actually a couple of years ago with the pencil sketch and us trying to deal with a water issue and making it a more level and safe playground for our kids, especially in the basketball court area. So this is multi-purpose. It's going to hopefully prevent a lot of that water that we get under the building from getting there as well. So it's not just a redesign for playground purposes. It's also to save our beautiful building.
And I'll also add that Monterey Peninsula Engineering is the low bidder, and they're a local contractor that we've worked with in the past. They do a good job. I think they've worked on the district for many years, so we know them. And with approval tonight, we'll send out the notice to proceed for these jobs tomorrow morning. We already have signed contracts on their side, so we'll execute those tomorrow. And then we'll start with the kickoff meeting the week of the 20th, and then we do a scheduling workshop. Barbara is actually going to put us up at the adult school, so we can do that with all the general contractor and all their subcontractors on the week of the 27th, and just get a jump on this. So we got everything planned out, and we can hit the ground hard on June 1st when school gets out, or when it's available.
Thank you. We'll first go to public comment. Is there anyone who would like to comment on this item on the agenda? All right. No public comment. Any board members wishing to comment or ask questions, including our student trustee? Trustee Wax?
I forget the exact. Wait, what's with the globe map? Or the United States and then the world?
The United States, and then this is the world map.
That's just going to be on the pavement?
Yeah, that's striping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there were some questions about how they're going to actually do that, so we have to provide some layouts so they can get it right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions, but just to Assistant Superintendent Jordan, thank you for laying out what the bids were and why we chose to go with what we did. It's helpful to have the full picture when we're approving this. Go ahead.
So does this include the fencing too? Or
Yeah,
no?
yeah. Just on this side right here, there's like, I think 4 different types of fences for the neighbors, so.
Yeah, what we have there is a shared fence with our neighbors.
Yeah.
And it's simple wooden fence that is beginning to rot, and we're gonna replace that with what, CMU?
That's chain link
Chain link.
with slats.
Oh, chain link with slats, okay. Good.
And will that include any signs like no dogs or other kinds of information that?
If you'll tour our campuses now, there's a lot of nice new signage around. So we have no dog signs, no bike signs, quite a few signs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. With that, any other board members wishing to comment? All right. Then we have item. Does anyone want to make the motion to approve the 2026 Quick Start project list for Robert Down Elementary to Monterey Peninsula Engineering? Or am I looking at the wrong? Thank you. Approve the award. Yeah, approve.
I will make the
Thank you.
motion.
Sure. Oh, I got it. I appreciate you. Mo- Motion made by trustee Otmar. I'm happy to second. We'll first go over to our student trustee. Aye or no?
Aye.
Thank you. Rest of the board, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any noes? Okay. That passes 4-0 with 1 absent. Thank you, Assistant Superintendent Jorn. And thank you both as well for being here and for the work that we're gonna get excited to start doing.
We're
Next for Forest Grove, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, very similar news. And up on the screen, you can see the improvements for Forest Grove. One of the things that we moved forward with on the Forest Grove public bid was the removal of the second level. Not that the scope of work and the design hasn't been completed, it has, but simply with the amount of time associated in the summer for completion, we felt like it was best to kind of split this project up. We were a little bit concerned about having all of it completed by the beginning of the school year. So ultimately, there were some cost savings associated with this project simply because we looked at it as an increment phase. Like if phase 1 is lower level, phase 2 is second level, and then of course phase 3 will be part of third level, which is part of Measure B. But even on this project as well, with the scope that's presented, we did come in under budget, dramatically under budget. The bids came in for to award for Avila Construction of $995,000. We had just over a $2 million budget, and even with the removal of second level, we feel like it's around a $300,000 or $400,000 savings.
That's what we came in with with our estimate was about 400,000 more, so we should be in good shape there. Do you want to talk about the scope real fast? We actually added some scope right here between the building A and B. So the entryway here, we're doing some campus beautification, adding some DG open areas right in front of the NPR here, so we can use that as a flexible space or an outdoor classroom or a spill space from the activities going on in the NPR. And then new concrete coming to connect these classrooms back to the walkways, and then all this darker area is all new landscaping. So as you approach the school and come in the main section, that'll be a new garden landscape area there. And then as you come out to the first level, all this is concrete right here. So that will be new locations for tables and with the shade tables that are being purchased. And then the amphitheater is also part of this. Is concrete amphitheater with the big shade structure that cantilevers over the back. And all new ADA sidewalk around this area, all the way to the back. We're upgrading the restrooms as well, and redoing all the sewer line that goes this way, and bringing the water line up to second level. And then next summer, when we do second level, we'll pick up the water line and fix that out the out the back of the campus there. So pretty good chunk for 900,000. And Avila Construction is the contractor, another local firm that we've worked with, and we enjoy their work.
Thank you. We will then go to public comment on the Forest Grove Quick Start project list. If anyone wishes to comment, please raise your hand or come forward to the podium. Okay. Quiet evening. And then back to the board for any comments or questions on this item. Yes, Clerk Schmoss.
For both schools, are you going to be like posting the diagram of what's going to be going on or not? You know how sometimes
Yeah, I know. Yeah, usually I like
we'll show what
rendering or something
Yeah.
that kind of celebrates the work that's to
Yeah.
come and during the construction. We should consider that. I think we'd have to add some color and pretty this thing up a little bit, but
I think it'd be
might be
good
worth
for the
yeah.
public to just
Yeah.
know what's going on and
Yeah, we can get like a 4x8 piece of plywood
Yeah.
and put a sign on it and
One of
give
our
some-
neighboring districts has
push some
one.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
List the projects that are getting done this summer. So
Yeah.
we've got something that, I love that idea. Under construction. Any other board members want to comment? Okay, I will then look for a motion to approve the Forest Grove 2026 Quick Start Project Award to Avila Construction.
So move.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay, motion made by trustee Wax and seconded by clerk Shamas. We will first go over to our student trustee vote.
Aye.
Thank you, trustee Houston. And then to the rest of the board, all of those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any noes? Okay, motion carries 4-0 with 1 absent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item I on our action agenda is on page 148. It is our Williams District Uniform Complaints, our quarterly report. Dr. Adamson, this is your item.
Yes, it is. And this is a routine item which we bring forward quarterly. I'm pleased to share that for the third quarter of the school year, there were no incidents or complaints filed against any of the criteria. And I'll just list them briefly. We are required to ensure that there are sufficient textbooks and instructional materials for each student to use in class. School facilities are clean, safe, and maintained in good repair. There are no teacher vacancies or misassignments, and parents, teachers, and the public know how to obtain complaint forms. At this point, there are no complaints.
Thank you. And that complaint form is in our packet. Are there any public comments on this agenda item? Thank you, Director Binder. No public comments on this item. Board, any discussion on our Williams report? Yes.
Yes, only that to add to what the superintendent was saying, that this is a requirement that goes to the county office of education.
Yes. Thank you. Where can Williams complaint forms be found if somebody wants to find them?
They are on our website. I don't have the exact specific page level they are, but also, as part of our policies as well, but it is on our website and I can come back with that in specific information.
I'm just curious. Thank you.
Next time we report it, I will be prepared to share that out.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Parents and community complaints process.
Say it again.
Yeah, they're on our website under the home button under parents and community input, and then there's a complaint process tab.
Okay. Thank you. If we are done with board discussion, I will look for a motion to approve the information in the Williams Uniform Complaint Quarterly Report.
So move.
Thank you, trustee Wax.
A second.
And a second from clerk Shamas. Thank you. We will first go to our student board member vote.
Aye.
Thank you, trustee Houston. remainder of the board, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Are there any noes? None. Okay, motion passes 4-0 with one absent. The last, thank you, Dr. Adamson. And to Ms. O'Sullivan, who will be completing the form for district as your new
That is
executive
correct.
assistant. So, okay. I saw her name in here. This is one of her first. You're on the books, Miss O'Sullivan, for the Williams uniform complaint forms. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry for giving you a hard time. You don't even have a microphone to defend yourself. Item J is our proposed board meeting calendar. I'll first go to you, Dr. Adamson, for any updates.
Yeah, there are no changes to the dates, but I have confirmed with Lou Lozano for our follow-up school governance session, and he is available on June 18th, which we have scheduled as a special board meeting. If the board is in approval of assigning that for our follow-up school governance. And remember, that would also be the evening that he would bring forward the presentation on educational organizations, which we did not get to at our last session.
So that's our special meeting on the 18th. So we will need that meeting, it looks like. Okay. No change. Okay, let's go out to public comment as we do for every item on the board calendar. Thank you, Director Binder. No public comments. Any discussion on the calendar as presented or with Dr. Adamson's comments? Okay, seeing none, and there's no action to be taken, we can move on. Thank you, Dr. Adamson. I think because we're not taking any action or changing anything that's presented, we don't have to vote. The details. Okay, yeah, right on. Yeah, for clarity. Thank you. Okay, so do you want to make that motion?
I move to approve the proposed board meeting calendar with the adjusted change of June 18th with meeting with Lou Lozano. And all that details.
Thank you very much. Motion made by trustee Otmar. I'm happy to second the motion. We'll go first to our student trustee vote.
Aye.
Thank you, trustee Houston. And the remainder of the board, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Are there any noes? No. That passes 4-0 with one absent. Thank you, trustee Otmar. We're going to take a 5-minute break in order to excuse our student trustee for the evening, and we'll be back in approximately 5 minutes.
Just what's
Okay.
The parcel tag.
He's going to tell us our options. Yeah. Yeah, I think we have 9 o'clock potential. I know, Laura. I don't want to say it out loud, but don't say it out loud.
Yeah, don't.
A little bit of answer that. Soliciting. Great. Whether I expand out, I'm gonna draw. Harder to get done. So. Oh, this one. Kick out. Four hours. No, no, okay, so let's do. That was the thought. Not for one of you. Not for one of you. He did say turns. Yeah.
Okay. We're returning to open session. We are now getting into the information discussion portion of our agenda. We have one substantive item this evening, which is item A, exploration of revenue sources, parcel tax information. This is your item, Assistant Superintendent Jorn.
Thank you, President McNary. Tonight, as we further the discussion as it relates to an item that Dr. Adamson and myself brought forward at the March 5th meeting associated with our 5-year, wow, it seems like it's really loud, 5-year fiscal stabilization plan and timeline. We're bringing an item forward tonight for discussion purposes related to the potential parcel tax associated with our school district and our school district boundary area. And we're fortunate enough to have Mr. Dale Scott online, and he's going to present this evening on this topic.
Good evening. I'll start by seeing if everybody can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'm just going to simply take you through the process of bringing a parcel tax onto the ballot, and then what a parcel tax is, what it's used for, what the timing would be. Excuse me, and I'm happy to answer any questions on that. It's actually a fairly simple process. So unlike a general obligation bond, which is used to issue debt on behalf of the district, and the debt is then used to finance capital facilities, parcel taxes are generally used to fund ongoing operational needs of the district, not capital facilities. There's no debt associated with them. There is a per parcel tax, which I'll describe in a moment. And those funds are deposited into the district's general fund on an annual basis. And the funds are used for whatever items that the board deems to be necessary and useful. The parcel tax itself is somewhat similar to a general obligation bond, but has a lot of pieces that are dissimilar. So, for example, the threshold for passage on a general obligation bond is 55% in California. For a parcel tax, it's 2/3, so a very high bar. Alternatively, although it takes 2/3 of the board to vote yes to put a general obligation bond on the ballot, it only takes a simple majority of the board to vote yes to put the parcel tax on the ballot. The parcel tax is exactly what it sounds like. It is a tax per parcel on every taxable parcel in the district. That would include residential, commercial, industrial, vacant, agricultural, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't matter what its assessed valuation is. It doesn't matter what its use is. The tax per parcel is the same. 2 houses side by side. One is a mansion. The other is a 1-room or 1-bedroom unit. They pay exactly the same amount. The district has approximately 10,000 taxable parcels within its boundaries. So you can do the math. If it was $100 parcel tax, that would raise $100 per year. That would be, I'm sorry, $1 million per year, which would then go into the district's general fund. Regarding the term of the parcel, we just lost. Are you still hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. Your picture went away, but I'll just talk to myself. There you are. Good. Regarding the term of the parcel tax, there is no stipulation as to what the term may be. In fact, there is no stipulation that there is a term. You have the authority when you place this item on the ballot to set for the taxpayers to know, or sorry, for the voters to know what the length of time the parcel tax will be in place. So, for example, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Some districts actually have parcel taxes that are in perpetuity. In addition, while you have to have, obviously, the projects identified, the projects are quite broad because it's anything that are operational expenses of the district. Now, unlike a general obligation bond, which has to be placed on the ballot on a general election date, which is typically a gubernatorial race or a presidential race, primary or general, parcel tax doesn't have those hurdles. They can be placed on essentially any Tuesday with some restrictions. However, in doing that, the cost of the election really soars because you're not sharing the cost with other districts. In addition to that, the passage rate for parcel tax, especially new parcel taxes, are quite quite low. The part of the passage rate goes up typically when you're in a general election. Now, if you were looking to place an item on the ballot in the November gubernatorial race, I'll give you just the big dates. It's fairly simple. You would have to take action soon. It would have to be submitted to the county in early August, your resolution. We would want to do survey research to find out whether that is acceptable to the voters and what would be the dollar amount that they would be most accepting of. And because of the time crunch in our timetable, I believe Josh has a copy of the timetable that he may or may not have handed out to you that we put together, we would foresee with your nod tonight, going out and starting the survey research immediately, coming back to you on your June 14th meeting. And at the same time as we present on the same night that we present the results, we would ask you to take action, assuming that the results were positive. With that, the election day of November 3rd, if it were to pass, then the funding would not be available until the beginning or until the next fiscal year. So if it passed in November of 2026, funding would be for the 27-28 fiscal year. I'm going to pause there and see if there are any questions from the board. I think I've given a pretty quick and brief, but a fairly descriptive overview of what it takes to do a parcel tax. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Scott. I think first we have to go out to public comment just on any agenda item. Imagine it will be quiet. Thank you, Director Binder. And then I will bring it back to the board for discussion or questions on the information presented this evening.
Can I add one more item before you do?
Absolutely.
One thing that I left off my list that I wanted. The district has had a parcel tax in the past. It passed a parcel tax, I believe it was in 1995. That stayed in effect. It was reauthorized a few times. And then in the election of 2012, I looked it up before the meeting, it went up for a renewal and it came very close. It got 66.4%. As the numbers in our database. You remember you need 66.7 to pass, but it did fail, and the board at the time decided not to pursue it again after that. But you have had a parcel tax that was passed in 4 different elections, ranging from 1995 to 2008.
Can you tell us the amount on that parcel tax, Mr. Scott?
I believe the first parcel tax amount was $35 per parcel. And I believe they were stepped up and I'm using what could be faulty memory, and I apologize. I believe the last one when it was on the ballot was in the high 50s, but I would have to look that up.
Thank you.
But remember, that was 12 years ago, so over 12 years ago.
Thanks. So with regard to our discussion tonight, I think this is an opportunity for the board to ask questions just generally or more specifically about parcel tax, and then also to have a conversation given the timeline presented about what we're thinking. Is that pretty accurate? Okay.
That is correct, yeah.
Okay. Does anybody want to start it off? Trustee Otmar.
So at this time, the amount that we would be, if this moves forward, the amount that we would be bringing to the ballot for the parcel tax, is it $100? That was just an example?
Yeah, I would say, go ahead, Dale, if you wanted to. I just wanted to say that, no, we would do a survey first, correct, Dale, to determine what the appetite for a parcel tax would be within our boundary area.
Okay.
Correct me
Yes,
if I'm wrong.
I used the $100 because it's easy to multiply.
It's easy
100.
math. Okay.
Yeah, that's the only
Or
reason.
maybe that's what it'll be. It might work out.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you for the presentation. Do you know off the top of your head, like what the average parcel tax is or has been in the past few elections that have won in California? Or
There is no average. There are parcel tax. So for example, Eastside Union High School District in San Jose, who we in Santa Clara County in San Jose, who we assisted on their parcel tax measure. They have tried many times in the past, never successfully. They did bring it over the top in the November 2024 election, and I believe the amount was in the $35 to $45 range. And I'm going to comment on that again in just a minute. There are other parcel tax measures around the state that are literally $3,000 or $4,000 per parcel and higher. So there's really no average. However, one thing that is constant is that, remember I said that parcel taxes are often have a date assigned to them for expiration, and they might be 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, whatever. It's very common for board districts to then go back and ask for that parcel tax to be renewed and to increase the price, that's the parcel tax amount at some time during that renewal process. The passage rate of the renewal parcel tax measures is quite high. The hard one is getting it across the finish line as a new parcel tax. And that I'm using statewide voter statistics on that, election statistics on that. And so going back to East Side as a good example, they realized that they couldn't go for perhaps as much as they believed they should, but they wanted to make sure that they had a parcel tax in place that they could then help grow with the district. And that's why they picked that amount. And we may find that if we do survey research in your community as well.
Clerk Schmaltz, yeah.
Now the city has said they are going to put on I think it's like a 3/8 cent sales tax on this November ballot. So how would that impact us?
Well, I've never seen them compete. I mean, typically people are either for or against both. Often sales taxes are a little different than parcel taxes because they are less popular with voters often. However, depending on how it's structured, there are some sales taxes that can be put on the ballot with only a simple majority being required. So they may have a lower hurdle than you. As far as direct competition, we can test for that in the survey, but my experience has been there is not as much competition as you might imagine or fear between the sales tax and the parcel tax.
Go ahead.
As far as the cost for community survey and the cost to bring this to ballot, is there an estimate for what it would cost the district to do that?
The survey itself is going to be in the $20,000 to $30,000 range. That most of that comes from the firm that we bring on to do the data collection. That's the big cost. And then we have some analysis costs as well. And I believe that's in our contract. The cost of the election on November would be you will have board seat elections, I assume. It will not be a double of those board elections. It will be a smaller portion of that, but that's a good place to look as a range of where those costs will be, because they will float around depending on how many items are on the ballot. Unfortunately, the cost of that part of placing that on the ballot from the county is payable regardless of whether you win or lose. And I don't know what your last election cost. Josh, you may know what the GO bond number was.
Yeah, Dale, it was around 30. It was a little over 30,000.
No, okay. So I would expect it would be a little bit more than that because it's a gubernatorial election.
Have you done any types of special assessment taxes for? I know this wouldn't be what we're talking about tonight, but have you done any special assessment taxes for like second properties specifically in a district?
No. For second properties, no. One thing I do remember is there are a lot of timeshare condominiums in your district. And we'd have to look at how those are currently on the tax rolls. Because so the 10,000 parcel range that I gave you may be low, depending on how those are treated. But no, I have not done special assessment on second homes.
Are there any types of parcels that, if it were to pass, are exempt from the tax?
Yeah, all public parcels, all publicly owned parcels, and all churches.
I think I saw something when reading about just parcel taxes generally that said something along the lines of certain groups of people could be exempt, like.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much for reminding me of that. I apologize for leaving that out. Yes, a very big difference between the parcel tax and the general obligation bond is you have the option, not the requirement, but you have the option of exempting senior citizens, which are defined as property owners, one property owner at least over the age of 65. And there are a number of other groups as well that you can opt in, but the big one is the senior citizens. But you are right, you have the ability to opt those out.
Feels like it's probably a large number for Pacific Grove.
It's possible. It's possible, and then it gets to be an issue of looking at the numbers in the survey, right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Clerk Shamos?
Dale, is there, what's the memory of a typical voter in terms of the bond that we passed last? Because they may or may not make a distinction between bond and parcel tax. But
yes,
yeah, go ahead.
It is a question that's asked a lot, and I think that and we have actually tested that question. There's always a concern that people are going to be burdened by the memory of the past taxes, and this is too much. I have found that to be not the case, even for elections that are done only months after a previous election. People generally forget that there was a past tax. In other words, it's more about how they feel about the current tax than what they remember of the previous taxes.
Okay.
I am Googling, which is dangerous and annoying, I'm sure, but one possible source that I'm seeing says that an exemption could be allowed for owner-occupied single-family homes. Is that incorrect?
Well, if you're over the age of 65, yes.
It's only, okay.
Yeah. But that would be, if you exempt owner-occupied single-family homes, you've exempted most of your tax base.
No, that's.
So we've got a proposed timeline. If we're interested in taking the next step, what would that be?
You would give me the sense of the board that you do want to proceed. As I said, we are under contract. There's no action necessary. We would begin to put together the poll tomorrow. We would begin and let you know. Obviously, you'd be able to see it and read it, but be able to let you know that it is going to start and when it is going to start. And then I would be back to present details of the poll and results at June 4th. And if so directed by the superintendent, also have a resolution prepared to take action at that time.
Okay.
And just
Go ahead.
one more time, just for clarification. So the cost of creating the survey, and then the analysis of the survey, you said that would be the $20,000 to $30,000 cost, or is it? Will it
No,
be more
that's
than
that. No, it's probably closer to 30,000. I can't give you an exact number because I don't know the number of ballots and number of voters that will be taken. But I would brace yourself for a $30,000 plus cost to put that together.
Okay, because I'm just, if there's 10,000 parcels in the district and we're at 30,000 for the survey and analysis, and then another 30,000 to go into the ballot. So we're at 60,000 there unless we have. I just want to make sure it's worth our.
Remember that you're getting on if passed, it would be for multiple years. So,
okay.
How many years do you recommend, Dale, that we would go for? Like,
well, this is
a 10-year period, or?
We would survey that, but the sweet spot seems to be 5 to 7.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me of that. That makes more sense.
But then what you're saying is, okay, 5 to 7 years. So then if let's say we do 5, then we've got to do this all over again if we want to continue it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. But it's much easier to do it again.
Past, I get it.
Yeah, right. Much easier.
So the survey would entail the time span and then also thoughts about how much it should be. Is that right?
Yeah, we test various components. One would be the ballot language itself. One would be the various projects which funds might be used for. One would be various dollar amounts of the parcel tax, senior exemption, other possible exemptions, term, which I believe I've mentioned. And so all of those get tested. And then from that, and including just reading them what we believe the ballot language would be and seeing if there's support or not for that ballot language, and then make a recommendation to you as to whether this is, strongly a strong possibility, not a strong possibility, or somewhere on the edge.
And then the surveying is mandated? It's required? Or
oh no, not required at all. This is absolutely your choice to go forward with a survey. It happens. Districts go, want to fly blind in it. You don't need to have a survey to get on the ballot, but most districts opt to have it to give them guidance as to the issues I just discussed: the term, the amount, whether it actually has enough voter approval to go forward or not. That's why people do it, but you're not required to do it.
Assistant Superintendent Jordan, yes.
Thank you. And just correct me if I'm wrong, Dale, because it was sort of mentioned. We would be testing what these dollars would be used for. This is not simply for unrestricted general fund. That's not how we would test it. We would, because I had the call with Joyce and Nicole related to potential options as to how to utilize the revenue. And we kind of talked through a whole slew of different language options. So it's not really just general fund support. I just wanted to be clear about that. It has to be.
You are correct.
Okay.
And just in terms of that languaging, Dale, you put forward some of that languaging to see how it falls with people. And that gives us kind of information to help us with that as a target areas to highlight.
Yes, of course.
If we are going to make direction, now would be, or give direction, now would be the time. So kind of looking for if there's a consensus or a quorum on direction to give a survey or not have a survey.
I think I guess we can all just give our opinions,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I think it's worth doing. I think I think it'd be interesting to find out what we can get and how long we can get it. Our community's pretty generous when it comes to school. So I think that this is kind of, for me, it feels like a no-brainer. I think it'd be a great idea to do.
Okay.
To do this.
Trustee Otmar.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can make a good case for it. And I do believe we have had a lot of support from the community, and I just feel like we've been as responsible as possible with the money that we've had and the bond money. And, I think hopefully we can communicate that to the public that, there's a trust there.
This is going back a little, and I'm not, I guess, telling my full opinion right now, but in terms of the method of the survey, what would you be doing, I guess, or like, how does it get out there in the world?
Once the survey is drafted, then the research firm does contacts voters in a couple of different ways. The first and most important is that they're only contacting voters. That's to be clear. You're not just getting anybody. They have to be registered voters. The first question that they ask is typically, do you plan on voting in the upcoming, in this case, gubernatorial election? And if they say no, then the survey is halted. They do telephone calls, direct phone calls. They also do texts to voters in order to push the voter to take the survey online. And you've seen that take over the majority of answers. That people are where it all used to be by telephone. Now it's a mixture of telephone and surveys done online through either text or email. And those are now the majority of the responses.
I guess on the other hand, like having the cost of the survey be $30,000 and then the cost of getting it on the ballot for $30,000 with like this binary option. And for survey techniques that I think skew towards a particular demographic, like we were just talking, we get a whole bunch of spam texts. Like I never answer my phone, much to the chagrin of my mother, but like, especially like unknown calls, I don't answer those. I don't answer texts like, can I have your advice about something, that sort of thing. And personally, I think there may be a way to do this, to me, like internally, or like making the case for X amount of years at $55. I guess I'm just like a little, for our small of our community that was 0.2% off from passing this last time. I'm I'm a little hesitant. I'm more hesitant about the surveying than pursuing the election, the tax, I guess.
If I may, one of the main components of the survey is to decide whether you should pursue the parcel tax or not, and spend the additional funds to get on the ballot. And I will say that we have surveyed in your district many times. Again, this is your decision, whichever way you want to go. But I believe the results have always been very close to what the final result of the measure has been. We use a nationally known firm to collect the data. I will agree with you. The quality of survey research methodology has declined over time. It's more difficult, but they are very, very good at it in weeding out, and they also balance that. So they're not just getting the people that, as you respond, or as you mentioned, may have one opinion over another because they answer their phone. So we're looking to have a stratified sample that does all groups, all age groups, all political parties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I think kind of what Mr. Scott said, I personally would like the information and the data and to know, take the temperature of the community, even if it's, I mean, this is the method we have for it. So to understand what the appetite is and if we should proceed with this with all the factors considered, like the city sales tax, and we've asked for bonds, but hopefully we do have some good rapport and trust building going on within the community at large. I'm in favor of doing the next step and doing the survey. Yes.
Just to maybe answer your concerns about the survey. In the past, when I was on the board too, and we did quite a few surveys with Dale. They were just so excellent, and they really were right on, so. I mean, it's been a while. You're right, things have changed, but just based on my own experience with Dale Scott, I mean, they presented something very professional, very straightforward, and very informative and instructive to who our community is, how they're thinking about us, and just even the increments, he'll tell us, like, okay, this amount too far, that amount maybe, this amount good, so it's very informative. I feel it's very worth it.
So I think we have direction to take the next step and begin the survey process. Just as a next procedural step, will we hear anything before the June 4th meeting, or is that the next time with survey data that this will be before us? Just curious. June 4th? Okay. Okay. Looking forward to it. We have one remaining item. Thank you to Dale Scott for his time. We have one remaining item, our future agenda items. We have the list that, the chart that is being maintained. Looks like it, thank you, was most recently updated on April 2nd. Is there anything to add, Dr. Adamson?
Nothing at this time, unless there are items trustees want to request this evening.
Trustee Atmar.
I'm not sure. I think we had discussed this before, and I'm not sure that there's only one on there. So whether or not this becomes a future agenda item, I don't know, but I would like to at least open up the discussion because May 1st will be the school principals day. I thought it might be good to bring this up, that as hard as these administrators work, asking them to attend every board meeting can be taxing. So just emotionally and time-wise and with family. So I wanted to have the discussion about perhaps having them or giving them the option to attend via Zoom versus being in the room so that they can spend more time with their family and not spend so much time here. So maybe not every meeting, maybe there could be but just to
Alternating, yeah.
yeah, just to at least start the discussion, or maybe alternating, or so many in person a year, something like that. But I just think to ask them to be in the room at every meeting is
A lot.
it's a lot with everything that they're already doing. So just a thought.
Okay, thank you for that. Yes, yes, thank you. Let's be out more.
Any others? Okay.
Yes. Yes, I talked to the superintendent about reviewing the use agreements for the facilities. And Linda, you asked me to see if I could easily pull it down, and I really could not.
Right, yes, I did ask.
Okay. You know, I got the facilitron and all of that, but I never could get to the actual, like, if a group wants to play soccer on the field, where is their contract that they sign? I couldn't find it. So anyway, I want to review those and just see if those are in alignment with what we want.
Okay, so basically to bring forward to a future meeting. Yeah, just samples of the contracts and okay. Okay, easy. Yeah.
All right. With that, I misplaced my agenda. Our next, let's see. Okay, we have direction. You have those items noted. Thank you. Next special board meeting is April 23rd, and our next regular board meeting will be on May 7, 2026. And good night. We are adjourned.
9:12, 9:14, 9:15.